Hey, it's Rob, and welcome to Axel's Garage. Out here working on Steven's Avalanche. He's got a large EVAP leak code. And, you know, we've been through this whole system. We've replaced a purge valve in the past. We've had the tank out of it 2 times. And the gas cap's been replaced, all those things. I don't have a smoke machine, but I do have noisy Airbnb residents moving in across the street. What we're doing today, though, is we're going to replace a chronic failure part on these GMT-800 trucks, which is not a chronic, but it's a common failure, I should say, which is the vent valve solenoid. So we're going to, you know, as opposed to diagnostics, we're going to do triagnostics. And for the 15 bucks that the part is, we're going to throw a vent valve solenoid in it. Should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully things didn't get too crusty over the year, because we have had the old one out. When we had the tank out, we had pulled down all the EVAP stuff just to make sure all the hoses and everything were good. So we got a Standard Motor Products CV6, and I'll get it out of the box. I'll give you a shot of my, I bet they're in town for the World Cup cricket is close by this week. Oh yeah, these guys are definitely here for the cricket. This should be a shit show. So here's our vent valve solenoid. All right, this is the end of the line for EVAP. It's got one input. It's got a vented filter under this round cap, and it does have one 2-wire electrical connection on it, and it should just slide into a bracket up there on either the frame rail or the cross member. And you can see the cricket fans behind me, like 6 of them. One, two, three, 4, yeah, 6 of them in a small car. Maryland plates. Looks like a rental. Definitely here for the cricket. Yeah, so only about a couple of miles away is the temporary arena that our county, I don't know who paid for it, but it's at a county park. They built the temporary cricket stadium, and the World Cup cricket is going on pretty much right in my backyard, which is doing wonders for freaking New York traffic. So under the vehicle, sort of on the passenger, it's in the center, but favoring the passenger side. So let's get some relation there. There's the drive shaft. Oh, so it's actually favoring the driver's side, I should say, in pretty much the center of the vehicle, right above the rear diff. So there's the rear diff, and there is our vent valve up there. Lowering down the spare tire would make this job much easier. However, I think we can pretty much reach up there and get it done without doing that, and that's what we're going to try to do today. So let me set the camera up at a spot where you could see. That took some doing. All right, so we have this our hose connection here, which is a, you know, what they like to call the quick connect, but it's a quick connect, not a quick disconnect. So you gotta squeeze it and get it past the tabs there. So I have found that sometimes using a pair of pliers will work. Other times you got to get in there with a little like pick kind of screwdriver. I brought pliers down with me. I didn't bring a little picky dicky. I should have, but I didn't. So we're gonna try it with the pliers first. Oh, I got one side. Nope. All right, so a little pocket screwdriver. Oh. So I grabbed a little flat blade screwdriver. You can work in there. Get the one side down. Now I'll come up with a pick on the other side. Try to get it right past the lock. And it pulls off like that. Right, it's the little tabs on this fitting here are grabbing onto that part there. So now that that's off, I could see up top here where the vent valve itself is slid into the bracket, which, you know, is all corroded like everything else would be. So let's see if I could just get up there with a little screwdriver, use it to pry a little bit, and get it off of the bracket, which doesn't look easy. Little twist, and it came off, and you can see there's your wire connection, the lock tab, and pop that out. And this vent valve is out. These are normally open on the vent valves, so they're, you know, if they're stuck open, that's what's going to give you your large EVAP leak. Like I said, they do fail from time to time. Bring the new one up here. See if we can get it on the bracket first before we connect anything, because the bracket is corroded and bent and twisted. All right, so it went in nice on the bracket. This electrical connection. That clipped in there. That's kind of easy to do blind. And then the hose, you bend the bracket so that the hose lines up nice and simple like that, and then just little twist, little push, and the hose is on, and the tabs, you could visually see the tabs engaged the outside of the hose, and that is it. Well, hopefully that's the problem, because that was an easy fix if it was, and they're pretty inexpensive. So in reality, these vent valves, a lot of times the vent itself will clog, and that can be a problem because they're up and under the car and they're in a dirty environment. All right, there's my vent. It doesn't look too clogged. You know, there is some crap in it, but nothing really crazy. You could blow through it. You know, we took a shot, we took a guess. If you had a two-way diagnostic tool where you could command the vent valve open and shut, and command the EVAP system to pressurize the tank or run a vacuum on the tank, then you can try to determine whether it's whether the wiring might be faulty, which I'm not getting a circuit code. I'm getting a large EVAP leak. You're not always going to get the circuit code, even with a bad component. But if you had a bi-directional tool or a smoke machine, you could try to find, and a smoke machine, because you'd have to close everything off, smoke it, and see where it's leaking from, and then you could see where if it was smoke was coming out of your fuel cap, if it was coming out of the vent valve, if it was coming out of some of the EVAP piping, the purge valve, so on and so forth. When you don't have all those tools, like most do-it-yourself guys, even a bi-directional tool, even the simple bi-directional tools, a lot of times don't do the EVAP system. So what we're going to have to do now is go in, clear the codes out, use it for a couple days, and see if the large EVAP leak comes back. This usually set about, I don't know, 3 days of driving, you know, of normal, you know, use. Within a couple of days, he would set the large EVAP code whenever the conditions were correct for the vehicle to run its own self-diagnostic check, and then it would fail and kick the code for the large leak. So hopefully in the next 3-4 days, the large leak is fixed itself. So we're going to clear the codes, and we'll let you know what happens in 3 or 4 days or a week or so. So I came in the Avalanche, and I went to reset my large EVAP leak code. So I reset it. I started the truck up, let it run for a couple minutes. Then I looked in my scan tool, and I do have a scan tool that runs a couple of basic tests. I'll show you. It's this one. It's the AutoLink AL619, and it does have an EVAP system leak test. So this test will not run when the engine is running, but with the key on, engine off, I can hit the OK, and component test has been completed successfully. Press any key to continue. So I'm hoping that means that I'm all good. I don't know, it seems like it was pretty instantaneous, and I don't know how it could be instantaneous. So I'm not 100%. So let's drive it for a couple days to a week, and then I will get back to you and let you know if this worked or not.